Here we go, continuing our journey towards a more generous life. Some of you said you liked the hat, and so I decided to keep it. It does away with the brightness from my white hair. I want you to think back for a moment to 2008. Can you remember who won the gymnastics? You remember the gymnastics for the Olympics, the parallel bar. Who won that for the women? Or who won the parallel bar? I should say who won the rings there for the men? Or who won the men's marathon for those Summer Olympics? If you think back, you probably can't remember. You'll probably have to get on the internet and to search and see if you can figure out who won those sporting events. In fact, if you go to 2009 or 2010, chances are you cannot remember just right off the bat who won the World Series or who won the Super Bowl, the most watched event on the earth, or who won the NBA championships. Chances are we don't even remember who won 3 years ago or 4 years ago. But at the time, it was such a big deal. Now let me ask you, do you remember the person who's made the greatest impact on your life? Chances are you may even remember the one who did something small for you. You remember that small act, that time that they went out of their way and they came to you and yeah, you're beginning to remember, aren't you? Maybe it was just a cup of water. Or maybe it was when they remembered your birthday. Or maybe they took your wife and you out to eat. Or maybe, you see, we remember those kind of things. Even though we may not remember the great, big, grand things that we think are memorable, sometimes it's the small acts. Recently, I was at a convention for ministers, and I had a young man come up to me, and he said, "Pastor Dale," he said, "I remember when." And he went on to tell something that I had done many years ago. It was just a small act. In fact, even as he was describing it, I did not remember it. In fact, even today, I still cannot remember that event. But he described it very much in detail. And it sounded like something I would do. But yet I don't remember. But he does. That's our principle for today. Even the smallest acts of kindness will be remembered and rewarded. Did you get that principle? Even the smallest acts of kindness will be remembered and rewarded. How do I know? Scripture tells me. Matthew chapter 25 tells me, the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you? When did we see you thirsty and give you something to drink?" And he answers, "I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it for me." Mark 12 gives us the same principle. A poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins worth only a fraction of a penny. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave from their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on." I tell you, even the small acts of kindness are going to be remembered. What small act of generous living can you do today for your spouse? What small act of generous living can you do today for your children? What small act of generous living can you do today for your co-workers? What small act of generous living can you do today for your boss? I promise you, God promises you, it will be remembered. Live generously, even in small things.